From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Good Tuesday morning. We're still tracking several fires within the region. We'll go ahead and start in Yakima County with the two fires there. The Williams Mine Fire, the update we got yesterday, it's now over 10,000 acres. It's still 0% contained. Several active hotspots still on the map, and there are still evacuations in place for Klickitat and Skamania counties, but so far none in place for Yakima County. If that changes, we'll let you know. Now on to the other fire in Yakima County, the Retreat Fire. The update we got with this one yesterday is that it's now up to 70% containment. So very good news in that regard, but still level 3 evacuations in place and this level 1 evacuation in place for the Titan and Cowiche areas. You can find these evacuations listed online at applevalleynewsnow.com. On to the Lone Rock Fire, which we did not really get a big update from this one yesterday in terms of acreage or containment. It's still right on the precipice of being 100% contained. Now, we did see yesterday that any residual level 1 evacuations for Morrow County did get lifted from this fire. So good news there. Also good news with the Battle Mountain complex on several fronts yesterday. First of all, the Monkey Creek Fire, the biggest fire of the complex, is now almost 80% contained. And we did see level 3s reduced down. Now it's just UMC 323, and this area of that is either Morrow or Umatilla counties, but some of those level 3s got dropped down to level 2s, and some of the level 2s got dropped down to level 1s. Again, you can find all sorts of information on all these fires online at applevalleynewsnow.com. I'll show you what air quality is looking like for this morning. Also, I'll show you some lightning that we're tracking for this morning, and that's coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, a drive-by shooting in Pasco last night leaves one person injured. We have the latest developments.
And the Franklin County Fire District 3 levied lid lift did not pass. We hear from the fire chief on what this means for the community. Good Morning Northwest starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica DeLong.
And I'm Jill Sperling. It is Tuesday, August 13th. Jessica, nice to have you back.
Thank you. I was feeling again a little under the weather, but doing a lot better.
Great. Glad to hear you're doing better.
Thank you, Jill. And we are going to start in some crime news, aren't we?
Yes. Well, a juvenile was shot during a drive-by shooting in Pasco last night. The call came in just after 7 p.m.
Captain Bill Paramore with the Pasco Police Department says it appears to be a random act of violence and there is no threat to the public. This happened near the Circle K on Chapel Hill and Broadmoor Boulevard. News crews on the scene noticed a lot of Ben Franklin Transit personnel at the scene, and Captain Paramore says BFT was there to adjust travel routes.
Well, this is a major bus route area that kind of runs through Chapel Hill, and so while we're here, we want to be courteous to our partners and let them know that this is going to be closed for a while, so they need to adjust their travel route.
Chapel Hill was closed between Broadmoor Boulevard and St. Francis Lane. The victim was taken to a local hospital for their injuries. No word yet on what their condition is, and right now the suspect has not been identified or located.
In election coverage now, the Franklin County Fire District 3 levied lid lift did not pass.
Our Monique Ledesma spoke with the fire chief and tells us how the district will be impacted.
Franklin County Fire District 3 added a fire levy lid lift to the primary ballots, but more than 50% of voters have rejected the levy lid lift. I spoke with Franklin County Fire District 3 Fire Chief Mike Harris, and he says it's back to the drawing board.
We'll have to meet with our fire commissioners. You know, they're elected board separate from the county. We are within our fire district. We have our own elected board of commissioners elected by the constituents within the fire district. We're going to regroup and find out, you know, do we need to run it again next year or on the November ballot?
Chief Harris says by not receiving the $1.28 per $1,000 of assessed property, it sets the fire district behind in expansion.
We're still going to have to respond with 2 ambulances. We're still going to have to cover the calls in our district, helping our neighbors and provide that same level of service. It just might take us quite a bit longer to either hire another firefighter that we need or to build up our reserve fund.
Chief Harris says it also plays a role on their ability to respond to certain scenes.
We won't have as much equipment laying around our stations to send out to help some of these fires. I know we got 2 pieces of equipment that I know we need to replace, but without the money to replace them, we'll probably just not send them out or use them. And then we might have to just keep our frontline stuff closer to home and maybe not be part of that large wildland response that we used to be.
Chief Harris says the fire district has until November to finalize their 2025 budget plan. Monique Ledesma, Apple Valley News Now.
In more election news, the Sunnyside School District has agreed to change its voting system that's used in school board elections.
The district reached a settlement with Ella, a group whose name stands for Empowering Latina Leaders in Action. This to change its electoral process to a by-district voting system. Ella, along with ACLU of Washington, told the district in April that its voting system violated the Washington Voting Rights Act by diluting Latinx votes. The parties agreed to redraw voting maps to include 3 majority Latinx voting districts.
The changes will be implemented for the 2025 primary and general elections, when all 5 school board seats will be up for election. The school district has also agreed to reimburse the ACLU for statutory legal fees. The YWCA in Yakima is looking to expand its emergency shelter, and it's halfway to its $2 million fundraising goal. The Bringing It Home 2 capital campaign is focusing on that last $1 million. Officials say the funds are needed to provide vital services to families in crisis.
In 2023, YWCA Yakima helped over 14,000 individuals affected by domestic violence, but the current facility's limited capacity forced them to turn away over 1,000 families in 2023.
Up next on Good Morning Northwest, rumors have been circulating about the closing of Multicare's Cottage in the Meadow, the hospice care facility in Yakima. But we have what's really happening. Emily Goodell with that report next.
But first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your weather forecast. Good Morning Northwest. We'll be right back.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to beat their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariana Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Get $5,750 total value on this Silverado LT when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP. See your community Chevy dealers.
I have prepared a Thomas's breakfast for you to savor together.
Thanks, Tom. Hey, are English muffins from England?
Heavens, no. They're from the pantry.
Are you from England?
Nay, I am also from the pantry. Huzzah! A toast to breakfast.
Whoa, is this your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. Yesterday, I was at the Nissan End of Summer Sales event taking a test drive, and Laura says,
"We've got somewhere to be."
And off we went. We're having a blast. And she tells me it's recommended by Consumer Reports.
These Rogues are going fast.
I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Get 0% financing for 36 months, or get up to $2,500 total savings on remaining select 2024 Rogue Platinum trims.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series, gas, hybrid, or all-electric. These are the deals you've been waiting for. So don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Lease a 2024 F-150 STX Super Crew for just $399 a month. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to beat their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariana Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
Stay safe! Don't even talk to me.
I wish I were blank. I wish I was sailing.
What?
Celebrity Family Feud, new tonight on ABC.
Boating, fishing, and good times. Fly the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now at 6 tonight. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We're seeing, a little bit of haze and smoke out there for this morning. Obviously, the thickest stuff is in southwestern Yakima County, right around the Williams mine fire, which is easily the most active fire within the region right now. But elsewhere, some pretty light haze up in the sky. Let's show you what happens with this a little bit later in the day. We put this into motion, and it's going to be just about the same cycle as yesterday, in that we'll have better air quality for Walla Walla, Morrow, and Umatilla counties, but definitely our worst air quality is going to be in southern portions of Yakima County, especially as those winds start to gust out of the north and west off of the Cascades. And so that'll put a lot of that thick smoke into Klickitat County, some of it trying to get into Benton County. Not sure how successful that's going to be, though. And then into tomorrow, looks like the haze overall is going to be a little bit more widespread, maybe a little bit thicker as well. But still, the worst of the worst is easily going to be immediately downwind of the Williams mine fire in southwestern Yakima County. Okay, on to, well, by the way, the air quality alert still in place for Yakima County until further notice. If you suffer from a pre-existing respiratory illness, wouldn't be the worst idea on the planet to sport that N95 mask for today. Temperatures this morning in the 50s and 60s. You'll probably need a light jacket out there, especially with some of the wind gusts, and you might need a rain jacket. Well, at least in Union County, a lot of lightning this morning in the Blue Mountains. We'll see if any of this ends up wobbling over into Umatilla or Walla Walla County. So for today, that little chance of a shower or thunderstorm for the Blues and for the foothills. Other than that, much cooler for today. And I'll tell you if we can expect more of this throughout the rest of the week. It's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. In your health headlines this morning, officials with Multicare are clearing up some rumors. Multicare is not permanently closing Cottage in the Meadow, its hospice care facility in Yakima. Officials told Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell it's a temporary closure as they shift to a mainly skilled nursing facility that will still provide hospice services.
In a statement, Multicare officials say Cottage in the Meadow will likely be closed through late 2025 as they work on obtaining state certification to reopen as a skilled nursing facility. The facility will have enough beds set aside to provide hospice services at the same level they are now. But the remaining available beds will be open for patients who need short-term rehabilitative services and are currently being treated at Multicare Yakima Memorial Hospital. Quote, freeing up critical hospital beds for more acute cases and providing care at a lower cost. According to a letter of intent filed with the Washington State Department of Health, Multicare is seeking a certificate of need to open a 32-bed skilled nursing facility at an estimated cost of $440,000. The closure planned on or before August 21st, depending on patient census. Many staff transitioning to the home health and hospice care program, which Multicare hopes to expand by adding 5 more clinicians, quote, with a goal of being able to take care of 40% more patients in the area. Cottage in the Meadow has had ongoing operational losses for the past 5 years, following a national trend for hospice care facilities struggling with low Medicare reimbursement rates.
That's the sad part, is it's not unique to our area. It's happening nationwide. More general inpatient units are closing.
HeartLink serves over 90 patients a day in the Yakima Valley area, providing in-home hospice care and contracting with local facilities for those requiring inpatient care. HeartLink's officials say it costs them about $310 a day to care for a hospice patient, but Medicare only reimburses them $200, and that drops to $165 after the first 60 days. Patients aren't billed for the extra cost.
We rely so much on fundraising and donation support to just sustain our operations. We're doing okay. There's been some tough months, years, where things were hard, especially with wages, clinical wages going up so significantly.
She says the business model for hospice care isn't sustainable and changes need to be made.
I think Medicare is starting to hear us a little bit more next year for 2025. We're going to see a 2.6% reimbursement increase, which doesn't keep up with inflation, but at least it's an increase.
To make sure patients can continue receiving end-of-life care no matter where they live. In Yakima County, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
HeartLinks will be opening a new adult family home October 1st that will also be able to provide inpatient hospice care. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, changes for realtors across the country in the way they get paid. We have the details coming up in your business headlines. We'll be right back.
There was a time when you could get a complete meal for just $5, but you gotta go way back. Well, just a Tuesday. Yes, Tuesdays at A&W, single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. This all-time great deal is available Tuesdays only at A&W.
Danny was rear-ended by a semi-truck. Serious injuries.
The back end was in the back seat. There was nothing left of the rear.
Danny was in pain, and the insurance company was giving him the runaround.
Mariano's reputation and experience gave him an advantage over the insurance company that I didn't have. I felt very comforted. I felt like I was going to be taken care of, that I didn't have to worry about it.
The insurance company couldn't run around me, and Daniel got paid a lot.
He lives up to his reputation, which is somebody who gets results.
Call 853-2222.
STCU reminds you that time is running out on Apple Valley News Now's Restaurant Showdown.
Round 5 voting is now open. After voting, enter to win a $25 gift card from STCU. We're giving away a total of 24 cards from STCU, Les Schwab Tires, and Whitman Hill Winery.
Hi, I'm Catherine Forner, and we love our own backyard so much, we built all of this. With hardwood decking and basalite pavers. And we just finished this deck for one of our best customers. With TimberTech decking and Fortress railing. And we get everything we need from PAR. With Shauna's help.
Everything from design to delivery.
What would we do without you?
PAR, your total home building source since 1930. Go where the builders go.
What are you gonna build?
Struggling with persistent pain? Board-certified physiatrist Dr. Ralph Lorenzo is now caring for patients at Prosser Memorial Health's Prosser Clinic. Dr. Lorenzo brings over 30 years' experience in physical medicine and rehabilitation, specializing in the management and treatment of acute and chronic pain conditions. Start a new path in restoring your quality of life and ask your primary care provider about making a referral to see Dr. Lorenzo. This is how we care.
An awesome flight over a lakeside community in northern Idaho.
We have the beautiful lake right here, the bike trail, amazing businesses.
Harrison.
We have some of the most beautiful sunsets you'll ever see in your lifetime.
Fly the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now at 6 tonight.
KFC's fan favorite country fried steak is just $5.99 every Wednesday. It's a complete meal with your favorite sides. Best of all, it's just $5.99. Country fried steak, $5.99 Wednesdays only at KFC.
Good Morning Northwest streams all day at AppleValleyNewsNow.com and our mobile apps. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We continue to watch this big complex of thunderstorms moving through the Blue Mountains this morning. So far, it looks like most of this is staying in Union County, but we'll track this very closely to make sure that none of this makes it over into Umatilla or Walla Walla counties. Let's show you what happens with this for the rest of this morning. And this is going to be a pretty quick viewing of Futurecast because all this is going to get out of here pretty quick. And by the time we're at lunchtime, should be pretty dry and we won't have to deal with any more thunderstorms, at least for today. So for today, this is going to be the first day of our much cooler weather, as we'll be about 5 to 10 degrees below average for this time of the year. It's going to be a little bit hazy out there. Better air quality, though, for Walla Walla and Umatilla counties. And the winds today will gust out of the northwest to southwest between 20 to 30 miles per hour. And then for tonight, the wind situation will stay the same. If anything, the winds will actually get a little bit stronger up in the Kittitas Valley. But the haze starts to become more widespread. And look at this, overnight lows a little brisk out there with temperatures in the 50s across the map. All right, our high temperature staying below average for this time of the year. That's going to continue over the next 7 days. So some very good news in that regard, but some not so good news in the form of some lightning chances going up for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But the good news within the bad news is that it does look like there will be some rainfall along with these thunderstorms. So, you know, kind of a catch-22 there. We have some small thunderstorm chances that will linger and persist into Sunday and Monday. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Will be cooler moving forward, haze over the next couple of days, and we'll have small shower chances for Thursday and Saturday. For Yakima, we'll have 80s for the foreseeable future. The worst air quality over the next couple of days, at least, is going to be in southern Yakima County, and we'll have thunderstorm chances for Thursday through Sunday. For Hermiston, we'll be breezy and cooler for today, staying in the 80s for the next week, and we'll have a small shower chance for both Thursday and Saturday. And then for Walla Walla, we'll have that AM thunderstorm chance for today, a very small chance. And then we'll have a break in the action for Wednesday, but the thunderstorm threat goes back up again for Thursday through Saturday.
Thank you, Josh. And your business headlines: the tensions occurring in the Middle East is affecting Americans. Israel is battling Hamas and has been exchanging rocket fire with Hezbollah in Lebanon. Iran claims it has the right to go after Israel because it killed a Hamas leader on its soil. Multiple sources say a full-scale attack could happen any day. The U.S. military is poised to potentially intervene if that happens. Now, this tension is increasing oil prices, with U.S. crude oil jumping 4.2% yesterday, and Brent crude oil gaining nearly 3% the same day. Traders worry a war could stop the flow of oil in the critical Strait of Hormuz, which is where Iran exports about 3.5 million barrels a day, although the State Department says it prefers a more peaceful resolution. In more business news, realtors will soon have to play by a new set of rules when it comes to how they get paid. It's part of a $418 million settlement announced in March by the National Association of Realtors. Up until now, home sellers typically had to pay a 5 or 6% commission. Going forward, buyers' agents must discuss their compensation up front. They'll have to enter into a written agreement with the potential home buyer before touring a property together. This agreement is designed to inform buyers that they are responsible for paying their own realtors if the seller chooses not to cover the cost. The new rules go into effect on August 17th. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, we have a first look at the live-action Snow White movie from Disney, and that and more Disney headlines are coming up in your entertainment news.
Make your hard-earned dollars go further during the Labor Day sale at Furniture Row. Shop today, because the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend, or get 60 months no-interest financing. The Labor Day sale, on now at Furniture Row.
Smoke City for Less is your one-stop shop in Kennewick, Richland, West Richland, Hermiston, Road 68 in Pasco, and at the new location on West Court Street in Pasco. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at all 6 locations. Get the lowest prices on the largest selection of vape models, classic to tropical vape flavors, batteries, cigars, tobacco products, kratom, and specialty products too. Don't waste time in other places. Go to Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. Amazing offers and a great selection of Ford vehicles, like the Built Wild Bronco family, with a deal you just can't miss. Your biggest adventures are waiting. So make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Lease a 2024 Bronco Sport Big Bend for just $369 a month, only at your local Ford dealer.
Power your adventures with the all-electric 2024 Subaru Solterra. It comes with legendary Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, standard, plus a rugged 8.3 inches of ground clearance. Everything about the Subaru Solterra is advanced, including the technology keeping you and your passengers safe. Love is now electric.
Find your way home in a new Subaru Solterra from McCurley Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event.
Oh my gosh, wow. Who am I? Wow, is that really me?
Hi, I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Plexiderm. All it takes is 10 minutes to reduce the appearance of under eye bags, wrinkles, and crow's feet. The instant results are from naturally based silicates found in shell clay. Once applied, your skin tightens and firms. Take action with our Plexiderm 10-minute challenge. Try it today for only $14.95, plus get free shipping. Visit plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
It's the Labor Day sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Check out the Summit Firm for only $299.99 or get 60 months no interest and free shipping. The Labor Day sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
Boating, fishing, and good times. Fly the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now at 6 tonight.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In entertainment news, the singer who rose to fame as Hannah Montana is now the youngest person to be named a Disney legend.
This makes me so emotional. Miley Cyrus was teary-eyed as she accepted the honor to a standing ovation on Sunday at the D3 Fan Expo. The 31-year-old Grammy-winning performer told the crowd of 12,000 people that she's still proud to have been Hannah Montana.
Aw, she dedicated the award to the character and all of the show's loyal fans. Cyrus was among 14 artists honored as Disney legends this year.
Did you guys watch Hannah Montana growing up?
I did watch it, and I always thought that she was wanting to distance herself from the role.
She was for a while,
but
and now she's
embracing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she had a little phase where she's like, didn't like it, and now she grew up.
Yeah,
big part of all of us.
Well, in more Disney news, it announced plans for a bunch of new attractions at its parks. This includes a new land based on Disney villains to be built at its Magic Kingdom in Orlando.
Ooh, so also in Orlando, the first land at any Disney park based on the Pixar movie Monsters, Inc., where it will have the first suspended roller coaster at a Disney park. Now in California, the Avengers campus at Disneyland is going to double in size thanks to 2 new attractions, and they're called Stark Flight Lab and the previously announced Avengers Infinity Defense.
New Encanto and Indiana Jones attractions will be built at Disneyland's Animal Kingdom. And a new Avatar land is coming to California Adventure in Disneyland.
This was all announced Saturday night at the D3 Expo, and the company is planning to spend $60 billion for its expansions at its parks and cruise line.
Okay, so I saw that in Tokyo's Disney World, they're going to have a Tangled exhibition or something, some sort of ride. Cool. So that's the one I'm excited for.
You gotta make a trip to Tokyo.
I know. Come on, let's go. It's easy, right?
I just can't believe that it's been so long. It took them so long to incorporate a Monsters, Inc. something.
I know.
That came out in 2003.
I didn't have anything about it.
It's been there for a long time.
There better be doors and like a little booth somewhere. That'd be really fun.
Kitty. Yeah.
So we're getting a first look at Disney's Snow White live-action remake. So in the new trailer, we see Rachel Zegler as the new Snow White and Gal Gadot as the new evil queen.
It's a reimagining of the 1937 animated film following a princess on the run from her stepmother. But this movie takes a modern take where Snow White isn't necessarily saved by the prince.
It also includes new songs as well as the original favorites. Snow White is set to release in theaters March 2025. This is very exciting. This was the first movie that I ever owned as a kid.
I think this was my first Disney movie also.
Really?
Yeah, I think my dad brought this one home first.
Over and over and over again.
It was a good one.
Well, now let's go to David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Bye 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 is back. The NSYNC song, which originally hit the charts back in 2000, is number 45 this week on Billboard's Hot 100, thanks to its placement in the box office smash Deadpool and Wolverine. It's not quite the oldest song to return to the Hot 100. Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill, A Deal with God charted in 2022, 37 years after its initial release, thanks to this memorable scene in Stranger Things.
The filmmaking process is pretty much the same. Storytelling is storytelling, you know.
James Wan has an old story in mind. The director of Aquaman and the original Saw is talking with Universal about remaking 1954's Creature from the Black Lagoon. He'd also produce the modernized retelling of the monster movie classic.
I can't find the trail!
Here's your first look at Lost on a Mountain in Maine, based on a true story. A boy is separated from his family in a storm during a hike up Mount Katahdin and struggles to stay alive in the wilderness for more than a week. Sylvester Stallone is a producer on the film, which opens in theaters November 1st. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest at 5:30, employees with Tri-Q Credit Union are being credited with helping a woman who believed her daughter had been kidnapped, but it was all just a scam. We have how to protect yourself from this type of scam.
Plus, a man says he called 911 and was put on hold for nearly 45 minutes. We have the story in the next half hour, but first, here are your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Google's major product launch today. Google's revealing its new lineup of phones, including the Pixel 9 Pro and Pixel 9 Pro Fold. The company will also give updates on how it plans to integrate AI into its products. And Google's expected to provide more details about the upcoming Android 15 operating system. Next, TikTok is rolling out group chats. Users can now message up to 32 people in the app and share content together. Group chats are only available to users above the age of 15, and you can only join a group chat if you are invited by someone you follow. Finally, YouTube Music is launching a new personal radio feature. The shareable playlist is based on your recent music, updates daily, and will be rolled out in stages. Users can enable the feature in settings and share it on their profile page. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Rhiannon and Allie. Have a great day.
Hey, I'll give you $574 if you switch.
For an ice cream? Okay.
So what about $574 for switching your home insurance to Allstate?
Tempting, but that's way too much of a hassle.
Actually, it's not. Allstate can handle the switching for you. Just call them.
So it's easy and I could save?
And you get Allstate.
Like a cherry on top.
Oh, you brought your own.
Check Allstate first and you could save hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
To stay on top of my game, I need to keep up my energy.
Cliff Bar is purposely crafted with 10 grams of protein and organic oats.
Because the more good you put in, the more great you get out.
Cliff, the most important ingredient is you.
You are bountiful. Your skeleton can support 2 times your weight. It's in your nature to stand strong. Supplement your bones with high absorption magnesium. Nature's bounty. It's in your nature.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica DeLal.
I'm Jill Sperling.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
Now, it was so windy last night.
It was cold, too.
It was cold and windy, kind of not what we're used to here.
What do you have to say about that, Josh Colbert?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. Like, it's a nice little, like, oh, it's trying to be fall.
We're not blaming you, by the way.
It kind of sounded like that. I was getting a little defensive for a second. No, it's definitely like there's a little taste of fall in the air.
Yeah. Spooky season. Oh, okay, that's what it is. I'll take that.
Just a little bit of it, but we still have, we still have more summer to go. There is haze up in the sky. We do have active fires that are burning within the region. Right now, you're taking a live look at Pasco. This view coming courtesy of the Dust Devils. Trying to look at some of these trees off in the distance to see how they're swaying about. They're just a little bit too far off in the distance, but certainly in Kennewick, where we are, we've heard the building shake at times this morning because that's how strong some of the wind gusts have been. Temperatures this morning in the 50s and 60s, so a little bit of that fall crispness, but this completely undercuts it in that we have thunderstorms this morning in the Blue Mountains. Plenty of lightning this morning, so we'll see what that ends up meaning for the fire start potential. Looks like most of this is staying in Union County right now, but perhaps a little bit of this is wobbling back into Umatilla County. We'll see if this ends up making it into Walla Walla County. So for today, this is going to be the start of a much cooler stretch of weather. We'll actually be below average for a change. So highs are going to end up being in the 80s. Of course, we do have that little chance for a shower or a thunderstorm for this morning. But the bottom line for the forecast is that will be cooler starting today. Obviously, still dealing with some haze or smoke, pretty light for most spots, except for in southwestern Yakima County. And thunderstorm chances will be bubbling back up, especially for Thursday through Saturday. That means that there's going to be a fire start potential for those days as well. But I'll show you what that threat is looking like for today, for this morning, how dry our vegetation is. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. We begin this half hour with a follow-up to a story we brought you yesterday morning. Employees with TriQ Credit Union in Kennewick being credited with helping a woman who believed her daughter had been kidnapped.
And the woman says the kidnappers even had her daughter's voice, but it was all just a scam, and she's not alone. Apple Valley News Now's Riley Fitzgerald says some vulnerable populations are more likely to be targeted for this type of crime than others.
A woman came into TriQ Credit Union Thursday and requested to withdraw a large amount of money from her account.
A woman came in on the phone, one of our Hispanic members, and she actually came up to Belika and handed her a note and didn't want to talk. She was on the phone, and the note said that to call her husband that her daughter had been kidnapped. And so I guess you took the note, you're like, what do I do with this?
Belika Gutierrez, TriQ's receptionist, knew something didn't feel right.
So I'm like, hold on, let me go check. And I went straight to Cindy, and she's like, she knew right away.
The reason she knew immediately is because this happened just days after a nearly identical scam at Giza Credit Union.
And we're just hoping to get the word out to make sure fewer people are victimized in the future. It's kind of a new one. This is the second one in the Tri-Cities.
TriQ Credit Union staff video chatted the daughter from another phone, proving she wasn't in harm's way. Staff explained to the distressed woman that her daughter hadn't been kidnapped, and this was becoming a more common scam, specifically targeting vulnerable populations.
And that was a tearjerker of a reunion. Right over here, I think everybody in the lobby here was crying because that's really scary. We suspect as well that perhaps they're targeting perhaps some of the Hispanic community, perhaps.
TriQ Credit Union President Doug Wadsworth says it may be due to a language barrier, not being familiar with financial scams, or not being comfortable with financial institutions or law enforcement. And as technology gets smarter, so do the criminals.
We have to adapt, and so does the community, adapt to what it is they're seeing in front of them. The good rule of thumb is if it's too good to be true, it's probably not true. In a situation like this where they're threatening harm, it's always important to get a hold of the police right away.
The woman had already sent $1,000 to the scammer, and they demanded more, which is how she ended up at TriQ.
Like in this case, the fraudster actually had her take her receipts, shred them, and then soak them in water while they were on the phone to make sure that there was no record so she couldn't get the money back.
When in doubt about any situation, officials say to contact your financial institution or law enforcement if necessary. Reporting in Kennewick, I'm Riley Fitzgerald for Apple Valley News Now.
The scammer was able to access the woman and her daughter's location because of a data breach to the location service app Life360.
Nearly 500,000 users had their personal information stolen, including names, phone numbers, and home addresses earlier this year. Making a difference now, small acts with big impacts. The Kennewick Police Department is rolling out a new program to identify acts of kindness.
Hatbo Community Credit Union is working with the Kennewick Police Foundation to fund $100 gift cards as appreciation for kindness of local citizens. According to Kennewick Police Chief Chris Guerrero, a couple of these have already been given out.
A couple gentlemen stopped somebody who was stranded, helped them fix their tire. Another gentleman helped with a medical condition. And again, these are things that were brought forward by our officers, right? Just like the Community Care Fund, they've been empowered to when they see something, they're allowed to come in, get a card. We ask that the person, be willing to take a photo with us so we can highlight them even more.
The department says it's up to the officers to not only look for people doing things wrong, but also to catch people doing things right. And right now there's limited cards, but there is no end in sight for the program, according to Chief Guerrero.
Turning to Oregon now, where a Portland man claims he called 911 on Saturday and was put on hold for nearly 45 minutes.
The man says he came across a person passed out on the sidewalk and decided to call for help. Initially, he called the non-emergency line. When he was transferred to 911, he had to wait to talk to a dispatcher.
I'm confused about why we're in this situation. This is kind of a basic, fundamental function of the government, right, is to provide emergency services.
The Portland City Bureau in charge of 911 confirmed the nearly 45-minute long wait time for the caller, and there were 16 other calls on hold at the same time.
The national standard for 911 calls is for 90% of them to be answered within 15 seconds, a standard Portland is not meeting. In a statement, the Portland Bureau of Emergency Communications and Emergency Management said, "We find these wait times unacceptable for our community. We are continuing to urgently recruit and train more call takers and look for technology solutions to meet our community's needs."
Now here's what's going on around the world. In Italy, 17 cities under red alert as a heat wave hits the area.
Milan, Rome, and Naples were among the 17 cities placed under the warning until Wednesday by the Italian Health Ministry on Monday. On Wednesday, the number of cities under red warning is expected to swell to 22, according to the update. A red level warning is used by Italian authorities to denote the presence of a heat wave with high risk conditions that persist for 3 or more consecutive days.
A new satellite video is showing how quickly the wildfire in Greece spread. Now, this video is from a thermal intelligence company that uses multiple satellite sensors to detect fires around the world.
The first fire detected was in a rural area west of Marathon, Greece at 3:05 p.m. on Sunday. That initial fire quickly spread, aided by weather conditions where humidity was low, winds were near 20 miles per hour, and the temperature was in the upper 80s.
Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, a man in Washington was trapped inside a burning car, but saved by a Good Samaritan who happened to be an Army Ranger.
That incredible story in just a few minutes, but first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Culberth will have your weather forecast. We'll be right back.
Round 5 voting is now open. Click contests at AppleValleyNewsNow.com.
You're all looking for something new.
New?
At US Cellular, new and current customers can get the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6 or Z Fold 6 on us.
I usually just try out a new look, but that sounds lit.
I heard their cameras have new Galaxy AI features.
Have what?
Galaxy AI.
Gonna get one now.
I'm fine.
New and current customers get the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6 or Z Fold 6 on us. US Cellular, built for us.
Very exciting show.
Next Live. Join us to see the legend, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Hannah Waddingham. Plus, we learn a hip-hop dance.
Today at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
Power your adventures with the all-electric 2024 Subaru Solterra. It comes with legendary Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, standard, plus a rugged 8.3 inches of ground clearance. Everything about the Subaru Solterra is advanced, including the technology keeping you and your passengers safe. Love is now electric.
Find your way home in a new Subaru Solterra from McCurley Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event.
Bad sleep.
No, the worst.
You know, there's really no excuse for bad sleep. During the Labor Day sale at Denver Mattress.
Right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Or save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and score a $300 gift. Check out the Summit, just $299.99. Or get 60 months, no interest, and free shipping.
The Labor Day sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
We are celebrating a new chapter at Shelby's Floral, and we're now open at our brand new building on Clearwater in Kennewick. For over 49 years, Shelby's Floral has been your homegrown neighbor, bringing joy and beauty to every occasion. And now, we hope you will join us for the grand opening of our new store on Friday, August 16th at 11 a.m. Enjoy a light snack, door prizes, and raffle giveaways as we cut the ribbon and open our doors to a world of floral wonders. Shelby's Floral. Experience the magic of flowers, crafted every day with care and creativity.
Next ET, only we're in Atlanta on tour with Usher.
A lot of moments, a lot of dance, a lot of energy.
Plus, we're hitting the town with Halle Berry, Mark Wahlberg, and Vince Vaughn. Next ET.
Tonight at 7 on Apple Valley News Now.
Hey, good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I am in.
I'm in.
I'm in too. I'll be there.
Shut up. All right. I've got to hear this. Hard day. I'm here to do business. I am a judge. It sounds funny when I said
it. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Culberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We're seeing temperatures this morning that are cooler compared to yesterday morning. 46 for Snoqualmie Pass, 58 for Cle Elum, and we're right around 60 for both Ellensburg and Vantage. So definitely a lot of light jackets needed for this morning, that includes the Yakima Valley with temperatures in the 50s and 60s, 59 for Union Gap, a little bit warmer in Yakima as we're up to 63. And then for the lower Columbia Basin, also 50s and 60s, 60 for Benton City, 63 for Tri-Cities, 55 for Umatilla. It's the same thing for the Blue Mountains and even a little bit cooler, it's the same thing for the foothills of the Blue Mountains, but even cooler in the Blue Mountains proper with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. And keep in mind that we do have wind gusts this morning, so some of these numbers might actually feel a little bit cooler than what they would otherwise suggest. So because of that, for your coat cast for this morning, we're actually going with a coat for this morning. A very light jacket, at least for the Tri-Cities, but into the late morning, things should start to heat up again, and it's mostly going to be t-shirt weather. Here's today's vegetation dryness. Remember, the 100th percentile would be the driest fuels on record. So we're going to be up into the 78th percentile for Kittitas and Yakima counties. No lightning in the forecast that way. No lightning in the forecast in the lower Columbia Basin either, but we will be up into the 80th percentile for the Blue Mountains, which is where we're seeing lightning going on right now, and I'll time out those lightning chances for the rest of today with Futurecast. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Now to news from the west side of the state. An incredible rescue on a busy interstate in Tacoma. On Friday, a man was trapped inside a burning car.
That's when a Good Samaritan, who also happens to be an Army Ranger, jumped into action to help save him. Karina Vargas shows us some video of what happened and speaks with the man who saved him.
Driving down I-5 in Tacoma, Joe, who's an Army Ranger, said he didn't expect to come across a burning car, let alone a man trapped inside.
As I looked, I noticed that nobody had stopped to help, and I thought, well, if not me, then who?
Take a look at this video from one of Joe's friends, Kyle, who was driving by at the time of the accident. You can see the car engulfed in flames and several people moving the man to safety.
Somebody's son, brother, or dad, and immediately it's something that I thought that I would want somebody to do for somebody that I cared about.
With 18 years of military experience, Joe tells me his background and training helped him pull the man from the burning car.
I knew that if I didn't act immediately, that it would probably get worse given the danger of the fire in the car and the traffic. It was at that time I decided to just go through the algorithm in my head with the training that I'm aware of to help this guy as much as I could.
As soon as he pulled the man out of the car, Joe said he had a touching moment with the man, who he later found out was also in the military.
I remember he reached out to me and grabbed my hand, and he was like, I really need a brother right now, and grabbed his hand and let him know he'd be okay. Full understanding that it was a pretty rough day for him, and letting him know that I was there for him.
The Como 4 drone was over the area of the crash site. You can still see some of the scorched marks and a DOT truck where it happened. Washington State Patrol said the driver was the only one inside, and the driver is expected to be okay. WSP said the cause of the crash is still under investigation. In Tacoma, Karina Vargas, Como News.
Up next on Good Morning Northwest, data from a retired NASA mission reveals there could be water on Mars. We've got the details and more stories coming up in your morning sprint.
There was a time when you could get a complete meal for just $5, but you gotta go way back. Well, just a Tuesday. Yes, Tuesdays at A&W, single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. This all-time great deal is available Tuesdays only at A&W.
When you get hurt on the job, you never know if you're going to get paid by Labor and Industries. Let Bothwell and Hamill fight on your behalf for your workers' comp. We can often increase your compensation. The sooner you call us, the better. If you were hurt at work, let us go to work to get you benefits.
Call 509-584-4411 for a free consultation. Bothwell and Hamill.
Taking the time to savor Thomas's crunchy yet soft bagels.
Thanks, Tom.
It's Tom, actually.
Right, Tom.
Tom. You doing that on purpose?
Tam.
Tam.
How have we got to Tam?
Huzzah! A toast to breakfast. My relationship with Make-A-Wish began 14 years ago. We cumulatively now have a total of $1.14 million we've done for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I'm lucky to have a position that affords me the opportunity to support the community. And for me, I want the customer's buying experience to be just that. Understanding what their motivation is, and also knowing that the activity they're having with me is going to have a direct reflect on what we're going to do with Make-A-Wish for the calendar year.
A generous portion of every vehicle sold will be donated to help local kids.
Oh my gosh, wow. Who am I? Wow, is that really me?
Hi, I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Plexiderm. All it takes is 10 minutes to reduce the appearance of under eye bags, wrinkles, and crow's feet. The instant results are from naturally based silicates found in shell clay. Once applied, your skin tightens and firms. Take action with our Plexiderm 10-minute challenge. Try it today for only $14.95 plus get free shipping. Visit plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
An awesome flight over a lakeside community in northern Idaho.
We have the beautiful lake right here, the bike trail, amazing businesses.
Harrison.
We have some of the most beautiful sunsets you'll ever see in your lifetime.
Fly the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now at 6 tonight.
KFC's fan favorite country fried steak is just $5.99 every Wednesday. It's a complete meal with your favorite sides. Best of all, it's just $5.99. Country fried steak, $5.99 Wednesdays only at KFC.
Watch live with Kelly and Mark weekdays at 9.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We continue to track this complex of thunderstorms that right now is bordering Umatilla and Union counties. It continues to move off towards the north and northeast. We'll continue to track and see if maybe this wobbles over a little bit more to the west and ends up putting more lightning in Umatilla or Walla Walla County. So we'll show you futurecast for the rest of this morning, and this is going to be a pretty quick hitting complex of thunderstorms because by lunchtime looks like most of this is out of our hair, and then after that it will be a dry day, also a much cooler day. This is going to be the first start of our sub-seasonal stretch of weather as most of us will end up in the 80s. It's going to be breezy today, winds gusting out of the northwest to southwest between 20 to 30 miles per hour. Also, we'll have some pretty light haze for most spots. In fact, some pretty good air quality for Walla Walla and Umatilla counties. And then for tonight, overnight lows plunging down into the 50s, so it will be brisk out there, and the winds will continue gusting out of the northwest to southwest between 20 to 35 miles per hour. So the wind's actually strengthening up a little bit in the Kittitas Valley. Into tomorrow, we'll continue to be just about as cool, maybe a smidge warmer. You see, though, we'll continue to stay overall below average for the next 7 days. So that's good news. However, there is some bad news in that we'll have more chances for lightning, especially going up for Thursday through Saturday, and then some small chances persisting after that into Sunday and Monday. I think we're past the peak of how dry our vegetation and our fuels are going to get this fire season, but still, any lightning is bad news. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Will be cooler moving forward. Haze will be prevalent over the next couple of days, and then we'll have small shower chances for Thursday and Saturday. For Yakima, we'll have 80s for the foreseeable future. The worst air quality is going to be in southern Yakima County due to the Williams mine fire, and we'll have some thunderstorm chances for Thursday through Sunday. For Hermiston, we'll be breezy and cooler for today. We'll be staying in the 80s for the next week, and we'll have small shower chances for Thursday and Saturday. Then for Walla Walla, we'll have that AM thunderstorm chance for this morning, obviously. We'll have a break in the action for Wednesday, and then the thunderstorm threat goes back up again for Thursday through Saturday.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is now 5:52. It's time for your morning sprint in our 5 o'clock hour.
We're going to take you right to your 6 o'clock hour, but first up, here are the top 5 local things you need to know this morning. The Pasco Police Department says there is no risk to the community following a drive-by shooting in Pasco last night. However, police are saying it appears to be a random act of violence. A juvenile was shot near the Circle K on Chapel Hill and Broadmoor Boulevard. The victim was taken to a local hospital for their injuries, and right now the suspect has not been identified or located.
In Yakima County, a levy to support the Sela Aquatic Center through 2025 has passed the 60% supermajority threshold, with 62.5% of voters saying yes. The ask, 7 cents per $1,000 of assessed property tax value, adding up to about $21 a year for the owner of a $300,000 home. The results are not final until certified on August 20th.
The Franklin County Fire District levy lid lift did not pass. The district was asking voters to raise the fire levy from 88 cents to $1.28 per $1,000 of assessed property value on this primary election ballot. Since it didn't pass, the fire chief says it sets the fire district behind in expansion and plays a role in its ability to respond to certain scenes. The fire district has until November to finalize its 2025 budget.
The Kennewick Police Department is rolling out a new program to identify acts of kindness. Hapo Community Credit Union is working with the Kennewick Police to fund $100 gift cards as appreciation for kindness of local citizens. Right now, there are limited cards, but there's no end in sight for the program.
The YWCA in Yakima is looking to expand its emergency shelter, and it's halfway to its $2 million goal. The Bringing It Home to Capital campaign is focusing on that last $1 million. Officials say the funds are needed to provide vital services to families in crisis.
In your national news now, in anticipation of an Iranian attack against Israel, the U.S. has sent a guided missile submarine to the Middle East. The Pentagon says Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered the USS Georgia there.
The movement of U.S. missile submarines is rarely revealed publicly. This announcement is intended as a clear message of deterrence to Iran and its proxies.
In your business headlines now, new rules take effect on August 17th that will change the way real estate agents do business. It's part of a $418 million settlement announced in March by the National Association of Realtors.
Up until now, home sellers typically had to pay a 5 or 6% commission. Going forward, buyers' agents will have to enter into a written agreement with a potential home buyer before touring a property together. This agreement is designed to inform buyers that they are responsible for paying their own realtors if a seller chooses not to cover the cost.
In your health headlines, Multicare Yakima Memorial Hospital is not permanently closing Cottage in the Meadow, its hospice care facility in Yakima.
Officials say it's a temporary closure as it will likely be closed through late 2025 as they work on obtaining state certification to reopen as a skilled nursing facility that will still provide hospice services. For more details, you can find the full story on applevalleynewsnow.com.
A recall of walnuts has been elevated to the FDA's highest risk level classification. In July, Stutz Packing Company voluntarily recalled packages of its shelled walnuts due to listeria.
A Class 1 recall is issued when there is reasonable probability that the product could cause serious adverse health consequences or death. The nuts were sold in Arizona and Texas.
In some sports news now, the Olympic flag arrives in Los Angeles ahead of the 2028 Games.
It arrived at the Los Angeles International Airport yesterday. The LA Olympics begins on July 14th, 2028, with its opening ceremony and will run until July 30th. All right, check this out. A new study of Mars suggests there may be enough water in cracks and pores of rock in the middle of the red planet's crust to fill oceans on its surface.
Ooh, so data from a retired NASA mission revealed evidence of the underground reservoir.
It found the groundwater would likely cover the entirety of Mars to a depth of 1 mile.
The data came from NASA's InSight lander. According to the study, the water is located between 7 and 12 miles beneath the surface.
However, if the water could ever be accessed, the findings suggest a new place to search for life on Mars.
Ooh,
so when are we moving to Mars?
I'm not. We've talked about this. I'm not going to space.
In all actuality, if I was given the opportunity to actually go, I don't even know if I would do it, you know? I like to think I would.
I like Earth.
Elon Musk cuts me a check to move to Mars, we'll see if the price is right.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, up next on Good Morning Northwest at 6, the Sunnyside School District has agreed to change its voting system to now include 3 Latinx voting districts. Details on the settlement that was reached coming up.
Plus, Disney announces many new attractions at its parks in Florida and California. We've got the details coming up at 6.
We'll have another look at that first alert forecast, including a roundup of all the fires burning in the area. That'll be coming up at 6.